All right, today we're jumping into a really interesting guide that ranks the top Power BI consulting partners for businesses here in Canada. If you're serious about turning all that data you have into a real competitive edge, then picking the right expert is, well, it's everything. So let's dive right in. The article we're looking at kicks things off with this statement. And wow, it doesn't pull any punches, does it? It's a great reminder that these days, using data isn't just some nice to have thing. Nope, it's the absolute bedrock of how you compete and grow. This idea really sets the stage for why this whole conversation matters so much. Okay, so this first section really gets to the heart of the problem. Everybody talks about data being the new gold, right? But actually digging that gold out with a tool like Power BI, well, that's where it gets tricky. It's a lot harder than it looks. And this slide just perfectly captures how high the stakes are. On one hand, you've got the incredible promise of Power BI, these beautiful real-time dashboards with insights practically handed to you by AI. But then on the other hand, the article makes it super clear that the peril is just as real. We're talking about really expensive mistakes, major security holes, and worst of all, just plain bad data leading to terrible business decisions. So that begs the question, right? How do you actually find a partner who can get you all the good stuff without leading you straight into those pitfalls? Well, lucky for us, the guide lays out a really clear checklist for making that exact decision. And here it is. This is the 5-point checklist the article says every business should use. And it's not just about, can they make a dashboard look pretty? It's about the deep stuff. Do they get data architecture? Can they connect all your different, messy systems? And, crucially, do they have a real plan for security and for supporting you down the road? Okay, so let's move on and actually look at the Canadian market. Let's see who the top contenders are that the source material called out. This table gives us a great bird's eye view. You've got the huge global firms like PwC and Deloitte, which the article says are great for big enterprises that need that broad strategic advice. But then you also have these specialized players, like KPMG for when you have complex financial compliance needs, or Hitachi if your whole business is built on Microsoft Dynamics. It shows there's no single best partner. It really depends on what you need. Now, after mapping out all the players, the article doesn't just, sit on the fence. It makes a really clear number one pick. So let's zoom in a little and unpack why they landed on this particular company. And there you have it. According to the source, this is the secret sauce. The argument here is that the best kind of partner doesn't just build what you tell them to. They have to combine that big picture strategic thinking with the technical chops to actually pull it off perfectly. So the first big thing the article points to is their whole end-to-end service. This means they handle the entire project, from the very beginning, like planning your data strategy, all the way to building dashboards, and then sticking around for ongoing support to make sure everything keeps running smoothly. Next up is the deep technical skill. The guide really highlights their ability to connect and unify data from all the different places it lives in a business. Your finance system, your sales platform, all of it. And this is so important for creating that single source of truth everyone's always chasing. Now, this is where it gets really cool. The crucial point here is that this kind of work helps a business stop just looking in the rearview mirror. By building an AI and machine learning, you can shift from just asking what happened to asking what's gonna happen. It's all about forecasting the future. And to wrap up its case, the article points out two last things. First, they have a really deep expertise in the whole Microsoft world, which means everything connects seamlessly. And second, and this is a big one, they have specific experience with Canadian data security and compliance rules, which is absolutely non-negotiable if you're doing business here. Okay, let's zoom back out. After that deep dive on the top pick, the article finishes up by looking at the bigger picture. Where's all of this headed for data analytics here in Canada? The guide suggests the future is way more automated, way more integrated, and happening in real time. We're talking about AI just generating insights on its own, your key metrics automatically triggering alerts when something's off, and seeing analytics pop up inside the other apps your team uses every single day. Things are moving fast. So the source material leaves us with this one final essential question. And it's not just for the tech folks, it's for every single business leader out there. The world of data is speeding up, the tools are getting smarter, and the real question for all of us is, are we ready for it? Thanks for tuning in to this explainer.